So let's look at the next operation, which we're working our way through this list. So we're looking at create, retrieve and update, delete, the CRUD operations. We're doing them in a slightly different order. So we've done retrieve already. We're going to move on to delete. Here's the site map. So we've got emp main and we've got emp retrieve. So we're going to move on to the next ones, which are here in the delete category. Now, if you think about what we're going to be doing here, we'll have two pages. The first page will have a form, and here you can see I've called that emp_delete.php. So we'll have a form, and what that form's going to do is it's going to ask for an emp number. It's going to ask for the piece of information, the row in the table that we're going to delete. And once we've got that emp number, and you click OK, we'll go to a response page, and here I've called it emp delete response. And what that page is going to do is it's going to create some SQL that's going to use that emp number from the previous page, and it's going to run that SQL and it's going to delete that person from the table. So two pages, emp delete, which is a form, and then a response page, emp delete response. And that response page is a thing that's going to have the SQL inside it. So we'll have the form, it looks something like this, pretty straightforward form. It's got a field for us to enter an emp number into it and a continue button. So when you tap in a number like 405, something like that, you'll click continue. It'll take you to the response page, and what the response page does is it will run that SQL to delete that employee, in this instance 405, and then we've got a link back to the main menu. So let's have a look at those in detail. Here's emp delete. Now this is a pretty standard form, and the important details on the first line, we've got the name of the page we're going to travel to, which is emp delete response.php, and you can see that we're going to use method equals post, and we've got a text field, which is an important thing here is the emp number text field. So we click continue, and that's going to take you through to the response page. Here's the rest of that form though. So there's just a heading and things like that in there, as you would expect. Emp delete response looks like this. Create connection variable, import the database library. So we're going to create those connections through to the database from the web server through to the database server. Once we've done that, we're going to create the SQL. That's going to be a sort of delete statement in SQL. We send it off to the database, in other words, we delete the emp, and then we just print some result out, some sort of message that says something like, yeah, we've deleted this person. So let's have a look at the actual code. So we're just going to work our way through this and show you some of the PHP code to do that work. So we'll start off with the connection strings and the line that's going to include our database library. And as I've indicated in the previous videos, what you have to do is you have to alter those strings so they actually match your local setup, depending upon whether you're on a PC or a Mac or whether you're using university infrastructure. Next up, we need to create the SQL and delete the employee. So here's the SQL, delete from emp where emp number equals. Now this line is a little bit different because if you look at it, you can see we've got the SQL is going to be some text, but actually it's being altered by the fact that we're concatenating emp number on the end. So if the emp number was 405, what that will read is delete from emp where emp number equals 405. We grab that value from the form, and you can see that on the post line, the line above, emp number equals $_post. We grab that value from the form, and then we're going to construct that SQL and we're going to print it out just like that. Sorry, not print it out. We're going to delete by sending that result off to the database using the use database SQL, and then we get our result back. And what our result will simply be, hopefully, a line that says something like one record was changed. Then we print the result of that out. So it's some sort of message that says something like the emp number was deleted, something like that. And here you can see I'm using a print statement and I've got the emp number embedded in there. So it actually looks like we're printing out the right one. So 405 was the value that came through into the emp number field. We construct our SQL, delete from emp where emp number equals 405. We send that off to the database using the use database line. We get a result back. And then down the bottom, we're not actually bothered about the result. All we really want to do is send a message to the user that basically says something like, we've done it. We've deleted person number 405. And that's what that little bit of code at the bottom of the screen does. And you can see we need to put a bit more HTML in there. That's the rest of the HTML, the heading, the head and the body, all that kind of stuff. And that's it. That will actually, that emp delete and emp delete response will do the delete operation for us. So back to the sitemap, what we've basically done is we've done about half of this. We've done the retrieve, where we use a select statement. We've done the delete, where we're using a delete statement. And we've got two more to do. We've got the create and we've got the update. And these get progressively harder. So create and update are the two harder ones compared to retrieve and delete, but we'll tackle them in the next one.